Welcome back. Chapter 5. Can you please bring me some stamps? Ma had asked when I called to tell her I'd be over later today. Who are you going to write? None of your business. I'll tell you when you get here. Do you need envelopes? I suppose they would help, but not those long ones. I don't have that much to say. When I pulled into the parking lot at Valley View Assisted Living, which looks more like a 4-star resort than a care facility, I recalled the first visit after we suggested Mom would be safer here. That was 2 years ago, when she was a young 84. An attendant had pushed a wheelchair over to help us. That better not be for me. As you can see, I can walk. I'm not disabled, and to my knowledge, not even close to being senile. This is just for your safety and to make you comfortable, the attendant said. Are you blind? I only need help when I say I need help. My daughter here, what's your name again? She asked and started laughing. Just kidding. My daughter here says the food is good. I hope I don't have to have her sneak in some Old Bay because you know you white folks don't know how to season food. Ma, stop it. I whispered loudly and pulled her plaid suitcase down the hall. Ma looked suspicious when the attendant opened her room door, but when she saw how bright and spacious the room was, that the bathroom had a tub and a shower with grab bars in both, and that the TV was mounted on the wall, she actually seemed excited. She ran her hand across the Chanel bedspread, which happened to be her favorite color, powdered blue. I hope you like it, I said. She looked at me like I had just said the dumbest thing in the world. Okay, I'm all checked in so you can leave now. Give me a kiss right here, she said, pointed to her cheek. So I did. Today, when I knocked on her door, she said, whatever you're selling, I don't want it. It's me, Ma. I'm not selling anything, but I brought stamps and envelopes like I was ordered. Oh, come on in, Laretha, but you can't stay long. I opened the door and put the plastic bag on her dresser. Why not? I asked, not taking her seriously. She was sitting in a pink and white pinstripe glided chair I brought her from a baby store because she didn't like to rock, wearing her pink jogging sweats with one of her paisley covered scrapbooks open in her lap. Her hair, white as a snowflake, was pulled into a soft knot. She was a sight to see. Because I'm in the middle of reminiscing. About what? I don't remember. Her mother is a mess. I sat down at the foot of her bed and I could smell that sweet lily of the valley lotion that always made me nauseous. I slipped my sneakers off as they fell and thought about lying down and putting her white throw blanket over me, but I didn't. I wonder if one day I'd be living in a place like this. Would my daughter and son visit me? You cold? She asked, looking over at me. I could see the veins in her glassy eyes from behind her glasses. A little. You shouldn't be, child. You are much thicker than you should be. Excuse me. Are you trying to eat away your grief? It won't work. Ma, I have only put on about 10 pounds. That's 15 pounds you don't need. Don't go getting fat, Laretha, because then it'll just be downhill from there. One illness snowballs into another. Just look at how sexy and lean I am in comparison. She had the nerve to stand up. Her light pink jogging suit was hanging off of her. Are you still eating those cheeseburgers and French fries every other meal? No. You can lie to me, but lying to yourself is a whole lot worse. Go pull that throw over your shoulders. She slowly turned a few pages in her book and I could hear the plastic crackling. And then she just stopped and looked at me. Don't hold grudges, Laretha, even when somebody does something you find unforgivable. What are you talking about, Ma? Don't play dumb. I don't hold anything against anybody. For starters, you've got a grudge against your sister. I know this for a fact. I know she owed you a lot of money and she owes me a lot too, but I never expected her to pay me back. You shouldn't have either. She takes advantage of me and I don't like it. Not everybody knows how to manage money, Laretha, and not everybody has good judgment. Odessa was a smart cop but dumb as hell when she punched out. You can't change people by punishing them for being who they are, so just accept them. So, what's on that page, Ma? I asked because I didn't want to talk about Odessa anymore. I can't stay long, and I don't want you to. It's Wheel of Fortune night. I stood up and tried looking over her shoulders. I have no idea who most of these folks are, none whatsoever. And she started laughing. But hold on, I think that might be me, she said, pointing at the young girl who looked like me about 50 years ago. Hey, so how's your memory coming along, Laretha? I miss a word or two here and there or forget what I was thinking or saying or what I was about to do every once in a while. But other than that, my memory is good. Well, get used to it because before you know it, you'll be looking in your old scrapbook and won't be able to recognize folks you know meant something to you or they wouldn't be in here. I don't have a scrapbook. I know it's all Googleable, but one day Google will be obsolete. Will be obsolete too. Mark my words. So make sure you print out pictures of every place, everything, and everybody you don't want to forget. I will. So, are you and Odessa speaking these days? I don't know. What about your daughter? What's her name again? Very funny, Ma. No, she won't return my phone calls. Seems like you're in the house with quite a few members of your family. I didn't do anything to them, though, Ma. That's how you see it. No, that's how it is. You need to lighten up because some of the things you think weigh a lot don't. So, who is it you're going to write? I asked, trying to change the subject again. You. Me? You going to write me? About what? Just tell me whatever it is you want to say. I can't always say what I'm really thinking to you. You make me nervous. What? How do I make you nervous, Ma? You don't listen. You think you've got all the answers. You worry about the wrong things. I still have wisdom to give you before I kick the bucket. Then she started laughing. What's so funny about dying, Ma? Oh, it's not funny, but it happens to everybody and sometimes when we least expect it. I'm getting a little bored being alive, to be honest. I've done enough and I had enough fun to last. But you, baby girl, you still have miles to go. Ma, I don't need to be preached to. Odessa does a good enough job of that. See, there you go, judging her simply for who she is. Maybe I can be a little harsh, but I feel like I've been on E since Carl has been gone. I know, baby, but you've got to decide if you want to keep the engine in neutral or shift gears and put it in drive. I just squeezed her hands. Anyway, look, baby, I'm not trying to be Ann Landers, but I know you're suffering from loneliness, and I still remember what that feels like. This is why I read things that lift me up. I read my horoscope every day. Actually, I read all 12 of them and write down any encouraging things I can use. But I also read O and AARP and The Real Simply because they always have some feel-good stuff in them. I just thought it would be nice to send you a line or two when I find something worth sharing. Would you mind? No, but do I have to write you back? I laughed. No, but I hope you do that more often. What? Laugh. Are you sending notes to Odessa too? No. Why not? Because she already thinks she's got all the answer. She took getting the Holy Ghost way too far. God can't save all of our problems. He gives us the tools, but some of us are too lazy to use them. Anyway, here's a picture of both of your fathers. she said, and handed me 2 black and white Polaroids that made both men look gray and dull. There's something I've been meaning to tell you. Well, 2 things. Is this going to be depressing? I asked, handing the pictures back to her. No. What's the first thing? I want you to understand what made me have sex with 2 different men in 2 days. I forgot. That's right. She a twin. Ma, I don't want to hear this. I need you to. I haven't even spent much time thinking about it, Ma. She just looked at both pictures and shook her head. I was not a whore. It was about power, my power. I was the one who decided I wanted to be with both of them. I even told each one about the other just to piss them off. She laughed like she had just heard a good joke. Really? She nodded. Then her eyes became glazed like she was looking out a window. I couldn't believe she was telling me this, and I didn't know if I wanted to hear it. It just felt wrong. I didn't want to know her secrets. Men have always slept with as many women as they wanted to, and nobody ever thought anything of it. Like they had a right to as much as they could get. I wanted that same power, and I got it. But I also got Chu and Odessa out of the deal. Who knew twins could have different fathers? I couldn't say a word. Anyway, I've been wanting to get that off my chest for years. Okay, what's the second thing you want to talk about? Odessa has always been selfish, and I'll just say it. She can be a bitch, but I want her to have my house. She's got no other options. What do you mean? She was about to lose that ridiculous house of hers because she just kept borrowing against it. And she's been renting the little guest house from the people who brought it. But now they want to move into the guest house while they do some renovating. She didn't tell you? I guess she didn't want you to know. Why do people keep secrets like this? Anyway, let her play house so she can stop worrying. Can you do that for me? I did tell her I'd give it some thought, but why does she need a 3-bedroom house with a yard just for herself? I own an apartment building. A 2-bedroom should be enough for her. Maybe I can arrange that. She closed her eyes. Ma? And then they opened. Can't you see me sitting right here in my candy strip chair? I'm not deaf, Laretha. What would you like for your birthday? I'm having another one? I just had one a few months ago. I nodded and smiled. The big 87. You have got to be kidding. I thought I was turning 90 on the next one. If you want to know the truth, I do not want to give and I do not want to celebrate. Unless you want to sneak me in a pint of Hennessy. No, I do not. It's next month. Odessa and I will take you to P.F. Chang's. I'll check my calendar. But tell me this. Did you bring the stamps? I looked at her and could tell she didn't remember. Of course I did. They were on your dresser. Just then, Marvin Gaye's singing Ain't No Mountain High Enough rang out from my purse, and I reached inside to get my cell phone. I used to love that song, Laretha. Can you put Otis Redding sitting on the dock of the bay on mine one day? I nodded and pressed my fingers in the air to shush her when I saw it was Jalecia. Hello? Ma? Jalecia, is something wrong? Why does something have to be wrong? Well, it's usually the only time you call. I need to know if you can pick me up in the morning. Where are you? Jail? For what? A DUI. Is she in jail again? Ma asked loud enough for Jalecia to hear. Is that Grandma? Please don't tell her where I am. What is it you need me to do? First, let me say this. I was not drunk, Ma. I passed the car too fast without putting on my blinker, so a cop pulled me over and made me take a breathalyzer, and it was only .10. Okay, the legal limit is .08. But I am here because of my priors. Plus, they towed my car, so it's impounded. I haven't heard from you since Carl died. Should I take a wild guess why you're calling? It's $5,000. It's a $5,000 bill. I've got very lucky. This is only my third DUI, so it's still just a misdemeanor. The bail bondsman told me all you need to put up is $500. If I hadn't been in the room with my mother staring me down, I'd have screamed, I'm not fucking doing this again, Jalecia. But I was so tired so I tried to remain calm. Where are you? In Palmdale. Palmdale? What the hell were you doing way out there? Never mind. What time tomorrow? Noon if possible. I have to stay here overnight until I'm sober. Anything else? I asked, not wanting an answer. Thank you, she said. Give Grandma a hug and tell I'll be up to visit her soon. She hung up. I'd leave her ass in there if I were you, Laretha. What'd she do this time? An outstanding warrant for a moving violation? I'm old, but I'm not stupid. That child has got a drinking problem. Even Helen Keller could see that. And Lord only knows what else. Did you bring the stamps? This caught me completely off guard, but when I looked in her eyes, I could tell that Mom had forgotten. The caregiver had warned me that this was how dementia worked, but I had not seen it come on this clearly. Yes, I said. I took the book of stamps out of the plastic bag and handed them to her. What about the envelopes? I was already pulling them out. Wait a minute. What day is it again? Saturday. Oh, heck. I'm saved from arts and crafts because tonight is Wheel of Fortune night. You told me. I didn't think you liked group activities. I don't. I like being entertained, and the popcorn is good. I bent down and gave her a kiss on both cheeks. She patted them both and tried to smile. Know when to say no, she said, and check your mail next week, but don't expect something from me every week. I've got a busy life, you know. As soon as I got home, I saw Kwame's car in the driveway. I wasn't in the mood to talk to him this evening, so when I heard B.B. King bark, I was surprised. He hardly ever barks when Kwame's home. B.B. licked my hand when I walked in. Hey, handsome, I said and rubbed his head. Kwame? There was no answer. And then I saw a text on my phone. Mama Lo, I went to Las Vegas with a friend. Be back on Sunday. I fed B.B. King and took him for a walk. He wanted to go to Vegas too, but he's broke. Love, Kwame. Now, why is he in Vegas, but he ain't got no job or no money? The next morning, I spent over an hour on the phone with the bail bondsman to figure out how best to pay Jalecia's bond. I went ahead and put the entire $5,000 on my credit card. She was right. It would have only been $500 if I had been willing to use my house as collateral. But if she failed to show up in court in 30 days, they could have put a lien on my house. I did not trust her. It took an hour to drive all the way to Palmdale, and the mountains kept me company. The yucca trees on the side of the freeway reminded me that I was in the desert. I was trying not to grind my teeth or grip the steering wheel too tight, and I tried to think of what Ma had said about accepting people for who they are. My daughter is not a criminal. She's an alcoholic, and this is the result. But I can't make her stop drinking. I can't make her see where she's headed. It's this feeling of helplessness that makes me lose faith, even though I have never stopped praying for her. When I saw Avenue Q, I wanted to just keep driving, but I exited and immediately saw the sheriff's department, a beige stucco building that looked just like a lot of the tract houses I passed on the way here. But this was jail. I turned into the entrance, and there was my daughter sitting on a bench smoking a cigarette. She didn't look like she had just gotten out of jail. She looked like she was waiting for a bus. I was her bus. I got as close as I could, but had to turn into the parking lot. She walked over before I had a chance to park. She had on the same dress she wore to Carl's repast. I was trying to process the reality that I had driven more than 60 miles to get my daughter out of jail for drunk driving, that this is what her life had come to at 40 years old. I wonder if it was my fault that she was lost. I thought about asking her, but when I unlocked the passenger door and she dropped down hard on the seat, she said, "Thank you for picking me up too." Excuse me. "But please don't ask me any questions, Ma. It was all a big mix up." "What exactly were you doing all the way out here?" She signed and took a red scrunchie out of her purse. She grabbed a handful of dreadlocks and pulled and twisted as many of them as she could on the top of her head, forming a spray that looked just like those yucca trees. "I have friends out here. They were having a birthday party. I got pulled over. End of story, Ma." "No, it's not the end of the story, Jaleesa. I'm grateful, but don't worry. I won't miss my court date, so you'll get most of your money back." "Where's your car?" "In impound." "And how much is that?" "Well, that's kind of another problem." I pressed the brakes a little too hard and gripped the steering wheel too tight. The car screeched to a halt. "Take it easy, Ma." "Okay, so the towing company is charging me $180 and impound fees, but I have to have proof of insurance before they'll release the car." "Which means you don't have proof of insurance." "It lapsed because I didn't have the money." "You have to stop this shit, Jaleesa." "Ma, I'm not in the mood for a lecture right now, please." "I don't care what you're not in the mood for, Jaleesa. I wasn't in the mood to drive all the way the hell out here to get you out of jail, but I did because you're my daughter. But pay attention. You have a drinking problem, and Lord only knows what else. But this is just one reason why your father left this world too soon, doing too much of the wrong things with the wrong people. Look at yourself, Jaleesa. You're 40. There's still time to turn your life around. You just have to make smarter choices." "Thanks for the pep talk. Look, I'm not messed up, and I'm sorry I had to call you, but my boyfriend—" "What boyfriend?" "Forget it, Ma. I'll pay you back every dime." "I suppose you already know the closest place to get an instant car insurance then?" "Yes, it's less than 5 minutes from here." "Let me ask you a really personal question." I've already been interrogated enough in there, Ma. Could you cut me just a little slack? I fucked up. I'm working on getting my life together." "Really? And tell me, just how are you doing that?" "Is that your personal question?" "Where are you living these days?" "In Compton." "And just who's in Compton?" "I got family there." "Peggy?" "Yes." "Then why didn't you call her to bail you out?" "Because she's not in a position to help me." "Tell me something, Jaleesa. What would you have done if I had refused to pay your bail?" "I'd be in that cell for 30 days until my hearing." "Remember that the next time this happens." "There won't be a next time," she said. It took 2 hours and 336 more to get the insurance and the 2008 Hyundai out of impound. Jaleesa gave me an impatient hug and followed me out of the lot. But I got on the freeway headed home. She took the streets. Maybe the party she missed was still going on. That's the end of chapter 5. Huh. I'm sorry. I have a strong belief in not helping disrespectful children, especially grown adult children that make the decisions they make in life that get them where they are. I just can't see you having 3 DUIs, you letting your insurance lap, you choosing to use the money that you need to pay those bills with to drink, and then calling me only for me to help you out of jail. I have a strong belief about that, of not doing it, because no, get somebody else to do it. I'm not doing it. Not putting $5,000 on my credit card, not driving 2 hours to get you out of jail. And then you're going to give me attitude? But they really need to sit down and talk to find out what the problem is. I'm just saying, I ain't the one. I ain't doing it. But that's all I got to say. I'm going to see y'all in the next chapter. Bye for now.